There were so many amazing manga characters that I read their stories last year, and narrowing it down to just 5, the struggle was real. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. Still very excited that you're here. We're transitioning a little bit for Wednesdays. The past 2, we've talked about my top 5 Yen Press debuts of 2025, which is really awesome, and I do have games for that video. I also talked about my top 5 favorite 7C's debuts of 2025 last week, and I also have a game. I shared that one on YouTube in my community post because I realized I'm supposed to be sharing those on Saturday because I enjoy sharing them there too. But yeah, it's been really exciting talking about those, and if you're curious about what my favorites were from Kodansha and Viz Media and just a variety of publishers like Tokyo Pop and Udon, be sure to check out my channel members video and my Patreon video because I shared that with them because I didn't have a full top 5 for them, so I just shared it with them only. But today we're going to be talking about some heroines and heroes who were some of my personal, I think, favorites of 2025. They really stood out to me in some kind of significant way where I'm like, okay, again, maybe it wasn't like the best story or like my favorite story, but these characters were extremely memorable that I'm like, okay, if we had to choose the top 5, bam, these are the characters that I would choose. I was wrestling, not gonna lie, and I will have a game near the end of the video where you can share what you feel your top 5 is. Now, there could be so much more than just the list I have, just as an FYI, okay? I asked for suggestions, and if you don't see your suggestion on this list, then either it was a shonen or I'm putting it on next week's game, top 5 favorite couples of 2025. But let's go ahead and dive right in. For number 1, I debated if I should have this character on this list only because he is in an active romantic relationship, but y'all, every time I think of this character, especially of the books I read last year, because I haven't read the final volume of the story, there's one more that's coming, then the series will be completely wrapped up, but that is Takara from My Girlfriend's Child. Oh my goodness, I absolutely adore Takara. He is such, and I gotta make sure I'm saying his name, not Tanaka, yeah, Takara. He is an amazing young man. If you're not familiar with this story, it is about a young couple. They are very intimate, and the girlfriend here, what's her name? Sachi, yeah. She ends up getting pregnant, and unexpectedly so. They weren't planning for that. I can't remember if she was on birth control. She ends up telling Takara, like, hey, they have to, I don't want to say deal with the repercussions of their actions, but how everybody reacts around them. Yes, and it's usually a negative repercussion that they are experiencing. And so it's specifically, it's Sachi's story of deciding to keep this baby or to not keep this baby. Who should she trust? Who should she listen to? Who is her support system? Which leads me to our best boy, Takara. And I've actually mentioned him in my top 10 best boys, like Hall of Fame kind of thing, because there is just no other character that I've ever read that is as earnest, as willing to do anything and everything he can for another character the same way Takara is. He has blown my mind from the very start of how deeply supportive he is of Sachi. I'm going to try and keep this spoiler free, but I will say that things that happened with his family was very hard. It was brutal to read, and this is definitely a series where more often than not I am sobbing every single volume, especially the more we've like continued in the series. The reason I decided to choose him, because I almost chose another character, is because in the volume 8 I was completely touched of how much research he's doing when it comes to Sachi and her pregnancy. He goes truly above and beyond. There's times where I'm like, Takara, I know you're a fictional character because there's not really men in the real world who will go to such lengths that he has gone to, and that's unfair, and I know that's not true. I don't want to back that kind of statement, but there's just a few times that I'm like, man, Takara is the ultimate boyfriend that any girl would want if they found themselves in the same situation Sachi has. When you learn more about Takara and you see how he is struggling immensely in volume 7 or volume 8, and how there's just somebody that comes alongside him and walks with him, and how Takara is even putting his, not his own happiness, but his own dreams, his everything on the line for Sachi to have the biggest comfort, to have the biggest support, to have the biggest encouragement. Honestly, these have led to moments of them having arguments because Sachi's like, yes, I'm the one that's pregnant, but you're my boyfriend and I want you to be happy. She feels that he's not really aiming to even remotely be happy. That's like the vague version I can give. And so I truly, I know I said at the beginning, but I adore Takara's character. I really admire his strength, his resolve, and everything he's doing. And I'm with Sachi that I was glad that she got angry at him and she told him that she wants him to be happy too, because yes, I need to see his happiness as well. And I won't share the cover of volume 9, but if you have seen that cover, you can see the joy at Takara's face and it warms my heart. It really does. He's a phenomenal young man, and I feel like I will always stand behind the statement that he is one of the best male heroes I've ever seen in shoujo manga that I've read. He has raised the bar significantly high, and I'm like, I don't know if anybody could ever pass him, especially with those latest volumes when we've read his story and how he is just doing so much. And I truly hope that in volume 9 that I see him just be shining with radiance, with happiness, with joy of everything that they have overcome to be at the moment they are, and he'd be like, man, it was all worth it, and then he will just be the happiest man for the rest of his life. For number 2, completely changing it up because My Girlfriend's Child's a very hard-hitting story. It's a very dramatic story. Not the same drama as this one that I'm about to share, okay? But it has drama in... I'm trying to think of how I would explain that. I just feel like it has drama, but it's different and it makes me cry, like I said, every time. But for number 2, we are saying Konomi from Tiger and Dragon. I have a video review on this, and this was really much a try in the series based off of 2 very good friends. They gave me recommendations for this. I gave it a shot. I was really nervous because it's a love triangle. It is about our main female lead here. She is not in a relationship, but her childhood best friend, what is his name? Kagetora. They are best friends when she's really young, and he ends up moving away, but before he leaves, he's like, hey, we'll always be best friends, and I have something to tell you when I see you again, because he promises to come back. 7 years have passed, and in that time, Konomi has never heard from him. She's never had a boyfriend, and then she hears rumors from like her neighbor that he is hooked up with some British girl, got her pregnant and all these things. She's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not holding out for him any longer. I'm gonna go find a boyfriend. Here comes Tatsuomi, another childhood friend after Kagetora has left. They've become very close, and he's like, well, hey, you know, I'll volunteer to be your boyfriend. And she's like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, I am. And so she starts having feelings for him, but lo and behold, who should come back on the scene? Kagetora. And he's ready to start a romantic relationship with Konomi. And Konomi's sort of catching feelings for him, and she's like, oh my goodness, I can't do this. And so unfolds this very hilarious 4-volume series. I mean, it is hilarious to read. It's one of those series you just turn off your brain, you just enjoy the antics of the characters, and Konomi brought him in spades. Oh my goodness. I never knew what to expect from her character. I was very amazed though that in the beginning and at the end that I saw some relatability to Konomi that made her not seem so far-fetched, outlandish of a heroine, where it's like, girl, you can't be saying that you like both these guys and then you tell them, hey, let's just go back to being friends. You can't, Konomi. You just can't. And she realizes that, hey, maybe she's unintentionally stringing them along. So there are bouts of serious moments, but Konomi's expressions, the way that she is just very much trying so hard, she's sort of a girl failure, honestly, because anytime that she's trying really hard, something crazy happens. We won't go in depth about it, but I did think I talked about in that video review of the poop incident. There's nothing I've ever seen, period, in any manga in my life, any fiction book for that matter, like the poop incident that happens, I think, in volume 4. Konomi is a hot mess, but she is a very funny and enjoyable hot mess that you can't help but just cheer for, and you just wonder, what is she gonna do? Like she says here, can't we just go back to being friends? No, you can't, and that's where we're seeing her struggle and the different emotions she has and how much she's trying to genuinely give both of these guys a fair chance. Just how both of these guys, I admire them because they went along with the shenanigans and they said, Konomi, okay, you do you, we're here for you, we still love you and care for you, and it is a very much a love triangle, but it was such an enjoyable one, and I enjoy just being on this adventure with Konomi, seeing what she's gonna do and how she made some crazy decisions where she ends up flying off somewhere just to tell a character a certain thing, and it's like, I agreed with another person that she sort of looked like a jerk just then, but she didn't realize that she had all of this earnestness to be honest and open, and she's like, did I really? There's really lots of great moments moments. While I don't know the next time I'll come back to this manga, it was one I knew I wanted to keep just because I had such a great time and just enjoyed Konami and her shenanigans so incredibly much. Like, she vividly stood out of one of the most unhinged girls I read last year, and just, I thought about her randomly at random moments of just what she'd be doing, and I wonder how, like, if we ever got a continuation of this series, like a side story, like, what is she doing now? What is she up to? What decisions is she making? I definitely would love to see, because of how much I enjoyed being with her on her love story adventure. For number 3, oh my goodness, he is a precious little bean. I love his character so much, and that is Daisuke from DNN Angel, the new edition that was such a gem, an incredible win from Yen Press last year. Easily, I mentioned in that video, it was my top 5 debuts by them. It was awesome. It is, in case you forgot to know the story, because I definitely was not. I was going in blind. I still forgot to look up his age. I think he's a middle schooler, but he has a crush on this one girl. She's very beautiful. I think she's one of the more popular girls in the class. He confesses, but she says no, that she's not interested into him, and come to find out she's interested in like taller guys, more, I don't know, buffer guys, but just is cooler overall than our precious little bean. He is very heartbroken, very crushed. He ends up going home later that day after school. He finds out from his family that he has the genes of whatnot where he turns into a phantom thief. He does not want this. He does not want to be part of this family. I mean, he wants to be part of his family, but not this family, not ritual, but just a family when it goes down through the generations. They've all been a phantom thief, and he does not want it. And he's trying to turn back, and he can't, but he does eventually. And that's so when he turns back to his normal self, because he turns into this guy named Dark right here, who is very cool, but I love our precious bean more, just gonna say. But he turns into him, and he finds out that once he turns back to normal, he goes to school, he has like a love meter, and when that love meter goes really up, he transforms into Dark. So he's trying to navigate his new life, basically, of being this phantom thief, trying not to think about the girl he likes because he knows he's going to transform, trying to just be normal and have a normal everyday life. And it's just been so hard for him. It really becomes this love square in this manga. I won't say how so, but I loved all the characters. But our boy here, oh my goodness, he's another very earnest character. Very different from Konomi though. Very different. There's not nearly as much shenanigans. We have the phantom thief shenanigans, but he's so respectful. He's trying so hard to really respect this girl and her feelings, but man, he just really wants her to return it. And when Dark gets involved and things come out, he is just this devastated young man, but yet he willingly puts himself on the line to help other people, especially like one character. Then we sort of have the antagonist who knows things, and poor Daisuke, he's just nervous all the time, and I think he would think he's not handling it well, but I would strongly disagree. I just think he is, again, just so earnest. He's doing his best, and all he wants is just, again, that girl to like him. And then when she sort of ends up using him, he still goes along with it. And I'm like, you deserve so much better, buddy. Like, I just want your happiness. And I especially feel like the ending really, well, it had a happy ending, and it's still ongoing, but there was just a scene that I'm like, please. Like, I remember reading in my car and I'm getting emotional because I'm like, just let him be happy. Just let him be happy. But again, he's just this really brave young man doing his best. And I just loved being on this journey with him and absolutely cheering for him. I'm like, I'm in your cheer section. I want you to have a happy, normal life. Be able to navigate through everything that is life and working through these feelings that he has for this girl. And, you know, still, despite being told no, that he's still trying to convince her. And then her be like, well, we're just not gonna be friends anymore if you're gonna say it like that. Like, girl, don't talk to him like that. Don't you talk to him like that. He's out here trying and you're over here making him feel bad. Man, he still likes you, but he knows who you like, but he's still helping you. Like, huh. He's so great. He's so great. I'm very, very excited to be on this adventure with him and read more volumes. He has my heart. I mean, truly one of my favorite characters from 2025. I mean, the whole list, yes, but he vividly, right off the bat, just stood out in my mind. He is very, very special, and I'm more than excited to feature him because, again, I just love his character, and I'm wishing the most happiest of happiest things for him. For number 4, you guys know I have to feature my wonderful Scarlet from May I Ask One Final Thing. And don't worry, if you're like, well, I thought you were going to say Glass Lart, don't worry, next week. for sure. You know they're coming. I couldn't split up my faves, like I just couldn't do it. So they're in the top 5 couples. But Scarlet, and yes, I could say, you know, who the male lead is, but I like everybody else, but I love Scarlet. I love her. She is amazing. She is incredible. Like another character. She was actually the first one on my list. I'm like, yes, it was her, and then it was our precious Daisuke that was the like second on my list. But if you're not feeling, may I ask for one final thing? It is very, very good. You should check out the anime if you don't want to check out the manga, because right now it's digital only, but we have the physicals coming later this year. I have all 3 pre-ordered. Yes, I'm double dipping on this series. And also, you know, this was my favorite read of 2025. So it's about a young woman. Starts off with our typical villainous cliche of where she's engaged to, I believe he's the second prince. Yes, he's the second prince. And we're at the opening scene where he's like, Scarlet, I am breaking off our engagement because you have been hurting my new fiance, doing these shady things behind the scenes that nobody has seen, didn't actually happen. And she's like, okay. Okay, but she's like, then may I ask for one final thing? And that is to punch everybody, because she has really subdued her personality, because this second prince is just awful. He needed to be punched in the face. I stand behind that comment, okay? If you've seen it, you know. You just watch the first 10 minutes and see just a glimpse of this second prince and how he has treated Scarlet so awful. Like, very satisfying when you see the punch happening. But anyway, yeah, so we see all that and we realize that, hey, she has subdued herself and now she's not gonna hold back. And so that is basically the start of the manga and the ongoing theme of the manga of her just punching these bad guys. It's great. It's awesome. She is like the ultimate heroine. I loved reading her story last year. Loved seeing the anime because there was a special kind of fun just seeing her beat people up. I know that sounds bad. Don't worry. She's only beating up bad guys, okay? Like her punching bags, as she calls them. They're like the fatty nobles who are doing really shady, schemy things, you know, being involved with slavery, being involved with other things that are like taking money from the poor, like really bad things. So don't really feel bad for him, which sounds really bad to say, but we're gonna move on here. But yeah, so that's really cool to see, and she's just such an inspiration, and she has these fun little sayings. Like there's one from volume 3, I believe. She punches somebody high up into the sky. She's like, you know, I guess pigs really can fly if you punch hard enough, or something along those lines. And I thought it was the best line. It was one of my favorite quotes, honestly, from last year. I had it saved on my computer for a really long time. I think I have it on my Goodreads review, but I loved seeing the strong sense of justice she has. There's some great humor because she'd be on that justice hype train. They're like, yo, you know, can you calm down? Her poor brother, he over there having stomach ulcers. He's like, Scarlet, please. You're known as is it the Mad Dog or something? I think it's like the Mad Dog, I think is what it is. And he's like, please, we need a better nickname for you. But she's just so cool. Like that's probably why she's one of my favorite heroines from last year, because she's just awesome. I really enjoyed seeing her just live out this justice, living out a life where she has so pushed down her real self, and to just be her real self now. Like, girl, we are in favor of this. We love to see it. I'm very, very excited for the physical volumes to release. I have no doubts I will love being back in this series just as much as I did the first time, because I have a video review of the first 3 volumes, and I definitely reread those volumes since, and I've read volume 4 as well, because I just can't get enough. I can't get enough of her just having a fun time getting sparkler, when she's like, oh, can I go beat those people up? And like in volume 4, she's like, I can't have my hands cold, because then what's the fun in that if I can't feel me touching the other person? She's just really, really phenomenal, and I think just a joy to read about. She's very different from other villainous manga leads that I have read before, not in a bad way. I think there's always something a little unique about each villainous story, but it is one that I think if you have sort of put off the villainous genre and they're like, they're all the same, I really think you should give this one a chance. You're not going to find many punchy villainesses like Scarlet. It's just really, really rare. So much action packed, and really just enjoy. I mean, that's the best part, seeing her beat people up. I promise I'm not here for violence, but the manga's just so good and Scarlet's so cool that I can't help but get starry-eyed. In fact, there was a Christmas post that I participated in at Beneath the Tangles, a website I blog for. We did, if we invited a character to our Christmas party, who would we invite? I invite Scarlet. If you'd like to check out all the fun things we did, I'll leave the link down below, because I did say I was going to hog her time, because yes, if I can beat Scarlet, I'm going to be sparkly-eyed. Like, I love her. She's great. I can't get enough of her, and I'm very excited to read the next manga. I'll probably be buying it digitally, or at least continuing the anime, because I'm woefully behind behind. And for number 5, last but not least, hopefully my camera doesn't die, I'm so excited to feature this character. She was one of the first characters I read last year, or at least on this list, and that was Heroine from the anime in Villainess. Oh my goodness, I love Heroine. In fact, I thought of her the other day. She's a very inspiring heroine. It's about our main female lead, Heroine, and she is the butterfly in the maiden court. So she is part of, I don't know if harem is the right word, because this is like a lot of political court based off the Chinese inner palace kind of thing. And so the rat, Kagetsu, is out to get Heroine, because Kagetsu is like at the bottom of this chain, I guess you would say, while Heroine is at the top. She's most favored and everything. They see a shooting star happen, and something happens when Kagetsu pushes Heroine like off the balcony. This happens at the very beginning, so not a spoiler. When she pushes her off, Heroine's saying like, oh, this is it, I'm about to die. But no, they swap bodies. So Heroine is in Kagetsu's body, and Kagetsu is in Heroine's body. And so it is their body swap manga, as the title says. Yeah, Heroine is really an inept villainess. Yeah, she really is struggling. But I was so blown away because you find out, I'm not sure how much to say, but one thing I will mention is the original Heroine's body is very frail. She's very sick. And when you find out how hard it has been and how she has really just sort of made it set up in her mind that at any moment she could pass away. And so when she gets into Kagetsu's body and has this liveliness where she's like, wow, I could do all these things that her body, because it was so frail, could never handle. And so there is this such life in Heroine, and she has such a positive attitude, I feel like, even when she's literally, they are about to take her out. She is thrown into a like cell of sorts with a very starving, hungry lion that's getting poked to make it angrier to come after her. And she's over here just as calm can be. And I was continuously blown away by her actions. Now, she did have a little bit of a scary one, not gonna lie, in one of the later volumes, okay? It's like, this is not the sweet Heroine that I know. But she was really amazing. And ultimately, it just came down to, she is truly an inspiring character that I have just been deeply impacted by. The other day, when I was having a really hard day, I thought of Heroine. She's like, just pep up and go. And I was like, you know, sometimes that's what you have to do. I know a lot of people say that Heroine, not a lot of people, I have seen people say, excuse me, that Heroine is just your typical happy, fluffy, go lucky kind of character. I could see that. I love Heroine because she is very inspiring in that kind of way. When she's faced with hardship, she's still looking at the bright side. She's very optimistic. So I personally am very inspired by her. But I will say, if you read up to like volume 8 or 9, I believe it is, you will see Heroine have a moment that was one of the hardest moments I read last year. When you look up to a character so deeply and you see like, hey, they were at rock bottom. It is emotional. It is upsetting. And I just was so heartbroken for Heroine. I'm thankful though that things turned around, that she was getting that energy back that we know, that we love, and really just aspires you to not give up and to have confidence, and that there are people around you who support you, and really just to be thankful for each and every day. Thankful for the food you eat, for the car you drive, or for where you sleep. Like all of these small things that they add up and they make us who we are and the blessings we have in our life. It was such a beautiful and wonderful read. I do have let's say first impression, I do have a video review on several of the volumes. I'm very excited for the anime. I mentioned that recently. It's one of my most anticipated anime of 2026. Very, very excited. And I was very excited as well when it comes to the game, which I will share here, that somebody recommended that Heroine be on the list as well as Kagetsu, because these characters are phenomenal. Plenty of characters, and I would love to hear from you. Who are your top 5 favorite characters, or maybe top 3? I just would love to know. There's so many inspiring, amazing, just great heroines and heroes. So let me know down below, and let me know if any of my picks resonate with you. I would love to hear it. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!